OmniSurf 3D was designed to make your surface analysis easy, affordable, fast, all of those things that people need who use metrology data much more than measure metrology data. For example, the engineers in the office need to be able to explore the data that was produced by the laboratory. Now, exploring surfaces can actually be kind of fun. We get to see new things, and OmniSurf 3D also has a bit more fun buried inside that you may not be aware of. In our latest version, we've really improved on this, but did you know that you can actually download Earth elevations? We can download 3D surface texture, if you will, of the Earth. So let's zoom in here, and I am on the Open Topography website. It's a fantastic website. It allows us to pull from various data sources, and I can select a region on a map. Let's choose Mount Rainier here. And that region can be downloaded essentially as a surface texture data set. We're going to download the data as an ASCII grid, and we need to give it an email address for status updates. We can even name the project if we'd like. Let's call it Mount Rain, and we'll submit this project, and Open Topography is going to poll the National Service for the data. Now, this can take a few minutes. In fact, if you choose a large area on the map, it can take quite a while, so be patient. Your patience will be rewarded with some fascinating data. So I will pause the video here, and we'll come back when the data is ready for download. Okay, this particular data set was rather small. It only took a few seconds while I was gone, and we now have a link for downloading the data. Now you'll notice this is a tar.gz file. So when we download this file, it will open in WinZip or whatever your favorite decompression software is. But this particular kind of file is like a zip inside a zip. So when it first opens, it says, should we decompress the inside into a temporary folder? And we do that to see the ASCII file we requested. So I'm going to drag this ASCII file just over to my desktop here. And that ASCII file, I'll replace an old one, that ASCII file is loadable in OmniSurf 3D. I can simply drag it in and drop it on the screen. Now here's something clever. OmniSurf 3D recognized this as Earth topography, and it's asking, would we like the satellite image on top of it? Well, yes, we would. That would be fascinating. So we can request the photo overlay on top of Mount Rainier. So OmniSurf has now loaded our data, and we can see the topography of Mount Rainier. This is fascinating. We can do this with places all over the world. There will be links in the description for a couple of different servers. But remember, we also added the photo or satellite overlay. If I click the camera icon, we can now see that. This is super cool. Try it with other areas of the Earth. We'd love to see those images that you come up with. Share those with us if you will. This is a fascinating thing we can do just in terms of texture exploration, perhaps outside your normal job. Now, something to note here is we spent some time downloading this data. We downloaded it from a server. We took time to download the photo overlay. If we go save this now as an OmniSurf 3D file, the standard OS3D file format is going to take that data converted to our grid, converted with an image, and it will be much faster to load in the future. So for example, now if I've saved this file out and I clear this, I can reload that data very, very quickly. And there it is. So resaving along the way is going to improve your workflow. One last thing, when we look at surface texture, we tend to scale things up in order to see the texture. So it makes us wonder, what is the reality of this particular mountain? Well, when we download Earth topography data with OmniSurf 3D, it recognizes it and reminds us. In the x-axis, which is shown as millimeters, our standard surface texture unit, those are actually representing kilometers. And the z-axis, the standard surface texture unit, would be micrometers. Those represent meters. This is handy because now when we're wondering how steep are the slopes, we can simply go to the View menu and say make 1:1 aspect ratio. So that is actually how the mountain looks if you were staring across the horizon at it with a camera. So hopefully this shows you some fun you can have with your surface data. Like I said, we'd love to see what you come up with satellite image data. We can do all of the normal things with this. For example, we can rotate it on the screen just to have a cool bit of wallpaper. We can make GIF files. As always, though, if you have questions with your surface texture, whether it's the Earth or the parts you're working on, reach out to us at digitalmetrology.com. We're happy to help. We also have a free 10-day trial of the OmniSurf 3D software. Be sure and pull down the latest version for these cool features.